The Pittsburgh Steelers have just signed the fastest ever NFL cornerback to their roster for this upcoming season in 2024. So, usually I don't make individual videos like this on players I don't know what they're going to bring to the team in the upcoming season, and thus I'm doing it as a collective, but I found this kind of an interesting story because the Pittsburgh Steelers just signed a future/reserve contract with Kalon for this upcoming 2024 season, and he's the fastest ever NFL cornerback. So, as of right now, he's 25 years old, and he actually joined the team's practice squad back in September 15th, but he just spent 2 weeks there after he was released on September 26th. And then he spent time with the New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, but he didn't really stick around and make the roster, I guess because he's not really a well-known name, and he just really came out of college. So he's 6 foot tall, 186 pounds, and he comes out of Baylor. Barnes was a 7th round draft pick of the Carolina Panthers in 2022, and then Barnes ran a 4.23 second 40-yard dash time in the 2022 Combine, the second fastest time since electronic timing was introduced in 1999, and he's the fastest ever for a defensive player in the Combine. Wide receiver John Ross ran a 4.22 second 4-yard dash time in 2017, if you remember, when he broke Chris Johnson's record. So he's the second fastest player ever to run a combine speed and the fastest ever for a defensive player. And now he joins the Pittsburgh Steelers for a future/reserve contract. Obviously, we don't know what he's going to bring to the table because he hasn't really played much in the NFL and he hasn't really been given the opportunity to. We all know speed really does not matter in terms of if you don't have skill. So hopefully he can match the speed with the skill and be a productive quarterback for the Steelers. Steelers are always looking to upgrade, and maybe this is a player that's shocking us all when we see him in camp next spring. Or if he makes a team, he shocks us in the regular season. Who knows? But obviously this is an exciting signing because he is a Silsbee, Texas native, and he started as a wide receiver before he actually transitioned to the cornerback position at Baylor. Barnes was a late bloomer with the Bears, earning a playing role right away, but not a starter's job until his senior season in 2021. In total, Barnes has played a total of 41 games in Waco, finishing with 53 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 17 pass defense. So it kind of makes sense why he was drafted in the 7th round of the draft, because he was a late bloomer and he switched positions from wide receiver to cornerback, and he doesn't have much experience at the position other than that he's just really fast. So maybe now in the NFL or down the line, he develops more of his skill and more of the technique aspect rather than just the kind of attribute of speed. In total, Kalon has played a total of 9 snaps for the Minnesota Vikings, so he's not really seasoned in this league, but the Steelers are always looking for new guys to bring in, and that's what future and reserve contracts are. It's not necessarily guys that are actually in free agency where okay, they're going to impact the team right away, but these guys being signed are down the road guys and people the Steelers are going to bring to the camp, try out, and see how they would fit in this team. And like I said, he may actually have a chance to earn a spot on the team because you look at Patrick Peterson, he might be a cap casualty, we don't know, or he might have to redo his contract to stay on the team, but he has a large cap number hit. And also you look at Levi Wallace, he may be gone as well. So you never know about the openings that could be coming for Kalon to show his worth for this team, but it's a good sign already that he is fast because at least that allows him to stand out right away. You always looking to stand out as a player in the NFL or just a player in sports in general, stand out from the rest of the guys. What attribute do you bring to the team that allows you to stand out and it allows the coaches to catch their eye on you? So for that, Kalon Barnes' speed and his ability to move and just be really fast. So that helps him right away, and hopefully down the road he's able to actually help in a bigger way other than just speed. But with that being said, enough with Kalon Barnes. Let me just talk about some other future such reserve contracts that the Steelers have signed recently. If you didn't see the video I made a few days ago or early in the week, I announced the 17 kind of future reserve contract players the Steelers have signed. But since then, they've signed 5 more. Let me just go through the names really quickly. So like I said, defensive back, Kalon Barnes, which I just talked about. They also signed defensive back, Thomas Graham, linebacker Tyler Murray, outside linebacker David Prowse. Obviously that name is familiar because the Steelers have had him in the past on the practice squad on the team, so that's name familiar. And the last one is also defensive back Josiah Scott. So the Steelers are looking for the future. The season has ended, but that doesn't mean that they can't get prepared for this upcoming season in which they have to build off of the team that they just had. There may be some big cuts coming very soon, so I'm going to be staying on top of that, giving you all the latest information. Some other information, though, that just happened in recent days, in which I'll tell you about, in case you haven't heard, is the Steelers actually signed their defense coordinator, Terrell Austin, to a 2-year extension, meaning that he's going to be with the Pittsburgh Steelers for at least another 2 seasons, and he's going to continue calling the defensive plays. Many people, like me, I think they should have moved on from him. I think they should have went out, found someone else, and bring in new people, because I just don't like the way that he calls the defense sometimes. Later, towards the end of the season, he did a much better job, I have to admit, in terms of its defensive play calling, in terms of how he's using the cornerbacks. But I just don't like the scheme that he uses for most of the season, in which he has the cornerbacks play so far off of the wide receivers, kind of just allowing the easy throws and the easy yardage to kind of allow the opposing team's offense, to push the ball all the way down the field. And then once you get in our area of the field, then we make a stop. That just doesn't really make sense. You should be playing like that straight from the beginning and not allowing just a team to easily score a field goal and just not allow a touchdown. That should not be the goal, to allow them to get all the way into your end zone, red zone, before you allow the stop to be made. You should be playing kind of press, or at least use your cornerbacks to your advantage, because what Joey Porter Jr. does best is play up on the wide receiver. And you have Minkah Fitzpatrick, you have DeMonte KZ, you have Keanu Neal in your secondary. Those veterans, they've been around. They should be able to help your cornerbacks if they get beat. So you should not be playing so far off and just allowing so many yardage. I also don't like how he uses the linebackers, outside linebackers, in terms of TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. He makes TJ Watt drop into coverage a lot of times, in which is not really successful. When they're attacking TJ Watt, other than that one interception, usually it's a completed catch for about 7 yards. So it doesn't really make sense taking your best defense player of the year candidate and make him drop into the zone a lot of times. Wouldn't you rather just have him rush the passer and use someone else in that role? I understand once in a while to kind of throw off the defense if he just drops back for one play, but sometimes he has like 5 consecutive plays where he just drops back into coverage. So I just don't like the way he calls those plays sometimes, but later towards the end of the season, he started doing a better job. So I understand why the Steelers obviously signed him, because they look at it and they see how the defense has kind of carried this team the last few seasons. And if the defense didn't carry, then the offense and the team in general would not do good. So I understand why he got the contract. But me personally, I would have just rather seen them clean house and go in a complete different direction with completely different people, both on the offense and defensive side of the ball, for next season, and just clean house entirely. But that's not what happened. They signed him, and that's kind of the latest news and updates I have for you. They've also interviewed a lot of people from the Sean McVay kind of coaching tree for their offensive coordinator job. They've also interviewed Cliff Clinsbury, Arthur Smith, and many others. So if there's any more updates, I'll let you know. But let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the signing of the fastest defense player ever at the Combine, Kalon Barnes, and all this other news I brought to you today. Let me know your thoughts, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below as well if you like all of the Steelers content and analysis and reports, and you want to stay updated every single day on the latest Steelers news. This is the best spot to keep updated, because I post videos every single day with all the latest news, rumors, reports, and everything like that. Also reactions and film breakdowns. So, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys all later. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.